Today we're continuing and charging on with my 2024 Tacoma build. Now if you guys are returning viewers, you probably know that this truck and I have had quite the year together, both in adventure, but also in some interesting challenges. You can watch my previous videos to see what I'm talking about, but let's just say 3 alignments later, greasing my steering stops, and actually torquing my cam bolts to spec as one should, my Tacoma is rocking and rolling once again, and now the build can continue on. So I'm finally back in the garage today, and I've ordered a ton of accessories that have honestly just been piling up, so I really want to get them installed. Plus, there are a couple things on this truck that I have been wanting to tune up. I did just wash and do a mini detail on her, but the only issue I'm really having, let me know if any of you guys who also have this truck can relate, but I have just a ton of rock chips. I mean, this is kind of past the point of no return, and I know a lot of it is because of my tire choice, but I have not been able to kind of detail these out, but that's okay. It's an off-road truck. I do potentially have something in the works that can help prevent that issue if you have one of these trucks, so stay tuned. But the other thing I did was I ended up removing my Method 709 HD Forge machine rings because I want to get them finished in another color to match my build a little bit better just for fun. So those came off, and now I am running these wheels bare, but I do think they still look pretty dope if you ask me. Anyways, all the Tacoma mods that I have for today's video are all genuine OEM accessories. We've got some install instructions over here, but it feels good installing some genuine parts on this truck, knowing I'm not going to subject myself to potentially more problems, or at least that's the goal. I mean, everything we have today, they're pretty straightforward install, should all be bolt-on, so no issues regardless, but that's the good thing with genuine, nothing should really go wrong. I think you guys who enjoy these Tacoma mod videos will especially like this one because Toyota themselves actually has a pretty good spread of mods for these trucks despite this generation of Tacoma still being relatively new. So yes, let's get into all these installs. I'll have all the part numbers linked down below in the description if you happen to see something you're interested in. But first off, I just have to say a huge thank you to all of you who have been watching my 4Runner series videos. I know I'm all about Tacoma, but this 4Runner was truly one of the biggest and most important projects of my life, and if you watch the video, you probably know exactly why. It was so hard keeping the secret from you guys and from Alex for months and months and months, and just, I still have so much to share with that project, but one thing I did not expect was the response from you guys, just because it means so much that you guys care about Alex, and thank you to everyone who thanked Alex for her service. I just seriously have the best viewers in the world, and I'm so very fortunate for all of you. So thank you. And I also have to make another thank you to the farmer's dog for making this video possible. Most of you know one of the big reasons I adventure and enjoy my trucks is because of Cody. Now, Cody is quite literally at the epicenter of everything I do. And for the last month and a half, he has been eating the farmer's dog, which is real, freshly made pet food delivered to my door. You just store it in the freezer and then thaw each pack in the fridge for a few hours before mealtime. You guys, it's to the point where when the freezer opens, he is bolting over because it probably means farmer's dog is ready for him. Or ice cream for me, but most of the time, farmer's dog for him. Now, we normally don't do mealtime in the garage, but as you can tell, Cody cleaned house eating the farmer's dog. Oh, you're hoping for seconds. Sorry, bud. But it's not just Cody who's been stoked by our move to the farmer's dog. I have also been loving it for the convenience factor. I'm always traveling, we're always on the trail. It's hard enough to plan food for myself, let alone him. So having his food pre-portioned, easy to give to him, and having all the items that we got in our first box, like the tote bag and container, have really made life so much easier. And all I wish is that I made the move to the farmer's dog sooner. And I very strongly believe that your dog will love it. You will love it too. So if you want to try it out, I do have a pretty good deal for you. You can get 50% off your first box of freshly made healthy dog food by using my link. Plus you can get free shipping and 24/7 customer support. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code. I even got my parents on it for their 2 dogs, and it's been a great experience for them. So thank you to the farmer's dog for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get to building my truck. All right, to kick things off, I'm starting with this center console safe. Now look, there are levels to vehicle security. A fully integrated frame-mounted safe is probably the ultimate, but for everyday use, I like this option because it's more secure than having nothing, it's low profile, and it installs super easily. It's a 3-digit combo safe, but it also comes with 2 keys for quick access if you need it. And one detail I really appreciate is the tight seams. If someone were to pry on this, that's probably where they'd try first, so clean fitment goes a long way. So anyways, let's install it. First step, removing everything in your center console. And as you can see, I had no shortage of stuff in here. You'd think the center console is not that big, but look at everything that came out of here. Totally my junk drawer. I'm kind of embarrassed. But look at some of the cool stuff I found. I found this Tacoma keychain. One of my friends got me, so very cool. And my rigid flashlight. This is literally the world's best little flashlight. I mean, it is so bright. Like, look at my garage. There's a ton of light in here, yet this thing is just so bright. I couldn't find this for a while, so awesome that I found it here in my junk pile. At the bottom of the console, under the felt insert, you'll see 4 10mm bolts. These are what you'll remove and reuse to mount the safe. Now make sure you're using an extension on your ratchet and ideally a long socket. And I wouldn't recommend using power tools here. The torque spec isn't anything crazy, it's just about like 5.5 foot-pounds. Once those bolts are out, it's as easy as dropping the safe in. Now that does take a little bit of angling, but once it's seated, check that the lid opens and closes smoothly. Then reinstall 4 bolts and that's it. Now quick heads up, the safe does take up a little more room. You can see comparing the 2 inserts, the new one is this faux leather grain. It's a little bit smaller than the original felt. Where you're gonna lose a little space is from side to side, but not in depth. Okay, so that was a super easy, like 2-minute install, but the real test is to see if we can fit all of my stuff back in here. I will be cleaning it out after the video, but I'm just curious, you know. We do have a little bit less space than we did before. Let's see if it all goes back in. We put the big items in first. You can already see these have a little bit of trouble just because of the antenna length. We're getting kind of close. By close, I mean, I don't know if everything is gonna fit, we'll see. Okay, this is trash, so I'm just not gonna put this in. Okay, except the microfiber towel, which takes up quite a bit of volume, and then this is old SD card packaging, so this is just trash, and it's pretty flat. The thing technically closes, but I am like just packed to the brim. So I'm gonna clean this up and get rid of some items in here, but I'm glad for the most part, everything still fits. Now after filming, I reorganized and moved my low security stuff elsewhere so I can keep just the important items in here, but overall, this was a great demo of showing how the space inside changes. And also on unlocking and locking it, you can unlock it with the 3-digit combo or use the key override, which I love. Pretty slick, easy install, and one more layer of security for my truck. Now onto something I honestly should have installed on day 1, a rear differential skid plate. So here's my rear diff, and as you can see, there is a little surface rust patch I have on all of my trucks, in fact, from hitting the diff. It hangs pretty low, so it's always the first thing to get tapped. Having this skid plate would have definitely saved it. Now this OEM Toyota one is neat because it comes with what I think is this vibration dampening block, basically a big rubber isolator to reduce noise and rattle. You slip the 3 provided threaded inserts onto the indents of the plate, making sure they're oriented correctly, and then secure them onto the skid plate with 3 M8 bolts. Now since it's hard to show this while I'm under the truck, those rubber blocks slot into the left and right pockets of the skid, and this whole thing is held on with brackets around the axle. While I was under here, I figured I'd first clean up that surface rust, so I sanded it with a Scotch-Brite pad and hit it with a few coats of spray paint. No one's ever going to see this, but the small details matter here. Next, I placed the rubber blocks and brackets over the axle. Now these are side specific, so make sure your orientation is correct. Yes, I am wearing funky goggles because I could not find my safety glasses, but hey, safety first. Installing the skid plate itself is simple. Line it up with the brackets and install the 4 M8 bolts, torquing them each to 21 foot-pounds. I did need to move a brake line bracket on the other side out of the way temporarily, but other than that, there shouldn't be anything in the way. Now I absolutely love how the skid plate looks, and the integrated jack point is awesome. The only minor downside is that you do have to remove it completely to change your diff fluid. Otherwise, this thing is great. I consider it a win, and honestly, I wish I installed it earlier. Staying on the skid plate theme, you know I had to do this one, the classic TRD aluminum front skid plate. It's not too heavy, it looks fantastic, and if it's anyone like the one that Toyota makes for my older Tacoma, the protection is excellent. Like the rear plate, it actually has an integrated jack point, and the install is just 6 M8 bolts. And since I'm working solo today, I used my Pro Eagle jack to hold the skid plate in place. See, I'm already using that integrated jack point. Honestly, the jack here is even easier than having a second person in my opinion because it's smaller, you can line it up perfectly, and you can make these micro adjustments. Once everything's aligned, I threaded in the 6 bolts, and I highly recommend using anti-seize. I cannot stress this enough because skid plate bolts like to seize, especially in salty air or after driving through the Salton Sea. I've had to drill out this hardware before and never want to deal with that again. So use your anti-seize. Torque your bolts to 27 foot-pounds, and I like to mark them too. This skid plate is a no-brainer. It's strong, stylish, and simple to install. And also bonus, Toyota embossed these little Easter egg trucks on the bottom. It's a tiny detail, but it makes me so happy. And now, onto the last mod of the day. If you watched my channel for a while, you'll definitely recognize this one, the illuminated Toyota Emblem. I originally installed the bright chrome version. This is the one that lights up with your headlights and looks super clean. But little did I know that Toyota also makes a dark chrome version. Up close, the difference is subtle, but once you step back, it is a whole different vibe. More the look I'm going for with this truck, so today I'm swapping my bright chrome for the dark chrome. Now this is super easy for me because I already wired everything up during the first install. So if you need help with the wiring, my previous video, which I'll have linked down below, goes through that step by step. But for me today, I'm just popping off the old badge, unplugging the harness, reinstalling the new badge, and plugging it back in. The tabs on the back flex without breaking, so removal was painless. Quick test and we got light. What I really love is that these still look like a normal Toyota badge until the lights kick in. And you can see the difference here, bright chrome versus dark chrome. Let me know in the comments which one you'd run. And that's going to wrap up today's installs. Thanks for following along as I keep building out my Tacoma. Hope I'll see you guys in the next video.